Passage to Eternity of Pioneer Head of Maintenance of Nta Abeokuta, 1979 to 1993, Mr. Anthony Adebola Daudu, aged 80 years, who died on the 18th of May 2020. He is survived by his wife, children, and grandchildren. May his gentle soul rest in peace. Announcer Olaleko Ajay, President, Pioneers Forum of Nta Abeokuta. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home.
Do you want to be saved? Do you pray for the things of God? Do you have questions about the Bible? Do you want to live a righteous and holy life? Then join us every Sunday on our station Nta Abeokuta at 7:30 p.m. on our program The Truth, where we teach you about Christ and how to embrace Christianity. Just as the Word of God says in John 14 verse 6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Join us.
Top stories tonight. President Buhari takes Muslims on Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Accident claims 2 lives in Otta. Plus, update from the world of sports. Good evening and thank you for joining us on Channel 2 News tonight. My name is Aniela Balogun. We start with a story on Mr. President. President Muhammad Buhari has urged Muslims to keep their spirit up in spite of the coronavirus pandemic, which caught the world off guard and has put a damper on what would otherwise have been a time of celebration for the Muslim faithful to mark the end of the Ramadan fasting period. In his solemn message to Muslims on occasions of Eid al-Fitr, the president noted that for the first time in recent years, the COVID-19 pandemic has taken a heavy toll on the people's spiritual, social, and economic lives. In a statement by his senior special assistant, media and publicity, Garba Shehu, the president said this year's fasting period was particularly challenging for Muslims because they had to forgo many important aspects of their daily worship, including the routine congregations for prayer and the recitation and interpretation of the Holy Quran, as well as traveling for the lesser pilgrimage to Mecca. He said that it is not easy to give up many of these important duties and activities because it became imperative to do so in order to control or limit the spread of this deadly disease. The president also appealed to other Nigerians whose businesses and means of livelihoods were badly affected by the prolonged lockdown measures for their understanding and cooperation. He prayed Allah to ease the hardship among the people as they struggle hard to flatten the curve while wishing all Nigerians Eid Mubarak. Meanwhile, as the Muslim world completes the month of Ramadan dedication to fasting, prayers, and almsgiving, the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Abubakar Sulaiman, has commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the leadership of the National Assembly for their unique leadership and harmonious relationship in the attempts being made to curtail the spread of coronavirus, as well as providing succor to the citizenry. Professor Sulaiman, in a statement, noted that in spite of the COVID-19 crisis being experienced at this time, the Muslim Ummah should still hope for the blessings of renewed faith that come with Eid al-Fitr. He prays for Almighty Allah to grant the world His guidance, safeguard the faith, heal the land, strengthen solidarity, and make the world a prosperous and peaceful one. In security matters, the Ogun State Police Command has rejoiced with the Muslim people across the state on this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration. A statement issued by the PPRO DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi enjoined the Muslims to reflect on the lessons of Ramadan and be good ambassadors of the state. In a bid to have a hitch-free celebration, the Commissioner of Police, Kenneth Abramson, has deployed security operatives from the major units in the command to secure lives and property during and after the celebration, as well as stop any criminal activities that may put the lives of citizens in jeopardy. The statement reminded the good people of the state on the need to obey all the measures put in place by the government to stop the spread of the pandemic, especially the ban on physical and social gathering, which is still very much in place. And in the meantime, Nigerians have been urged to unite in love and solidarity while complying with government regulations to turn the pains of the coronavirus pandemic to a collective gain. Convener of the annual late Hamdalat Aremu Memorial Lecture and Vice President, Industrial Comrade Issa Aremu, gave the advice during this year's edition of the lecture. Abdul Wahid Bibiere reports that the virtual lecture was organized by the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Kwara State Council.
Comrade Issa Aremu called for more citizens' enlightenment in the fight against the ravaging coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria, stressing the need to reward compliance by people and sanction violators.
I want to say what is good for COVID-19 is good for other livelihoods that we have. It's a reality, and I agree with President Mohamed Buhari I say that we should take this serious, you cannot get. But then when we have compliance and good behavior, we should also reward them.
Professor Wale Suleiman, the Special Advisor on Health Matters, who stood in for the guest speaker, Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, said most of the cases of the virus in Kwara State were imported from other states and advocated for testing centers in all the states of the Federation.
We've done what we know to do internally to make sure we can contain, and we'll continue to intensify. I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm not saying the containment is going excellent, but I think that's going well. And the of that is the first few cases that were imported, by the time they were tested and they came back positive, most of those patients were already in quarantine, which means they were picked up and they were in quarantine. So it's incumbent that NCDC find a way to get a testing center to every single state in Nigeria.
The year 2020 late Hamdalat Aremu lecture was organized by the Nigerian Union of Journalists using virtual means in accordance to government regulation on social gathering. Abdul Wahid Bibiwe, NTA News.
And now, fiscal matters. Following the submission of the revised 2020 budget proposal by President Muhammadu Buhari, the House of Representatives has warned that ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs of federal government must desist from tampering with the 2020 budget. The chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Representative Nta Abeokuta, in a statement noted that no MDA has power to tinker with the budget. Only the National Assembly is statutorily empowered to review, adjust, consider, and pass budget. The statement reads that there are reports that following the downward review of the budget from 10.59 trillion naira to 10.59 trillion naira due to the COVID-19 crisis and the dwindling oil prices, some NDAs were already adjusting the budget proposal to suit their needs. No other arm or department of government, he stressed, has power over budget except the legislature, adding that because of the importance the National Assembly attached to the budget, members of the relevant committees will continue to work on it during the 2-week summer break. He assured that the House of Representatives Committee on Appropriation is committed to working with other relevant committees, the Senate and Executive, to have workable and implementable budget to help the country overcome the negative economic effects of COVID-19. Channel 12 News continues after these commercials. Please stay.
Fellow citizens of the state, this is your governor, Nta Abeokuta. As we begin the lockdown,
I'm asking that you join us take that effort in ensuring that we're prepared to respond to the coronavirus pandemic. Remember to wash your hands with soap as often as possible, or the alternative, use a hand sanitizer. Please ensure that your home is clean and all surfaces are wiped down regularly. Stay at home, but in the event that you need to go out, remember to use a face mask and maintain social distance between you and the next person. Coronavirus can affect anyone, regardless of age or class. It is no respecter of any, rich or poor. So please stay vigilant and report any suspicious symptoms to our helpline 0800 123 5678 or our website www.obucovid19.org. Our commitment to you as we continue to build our future together is that we are well taken care of. Together we can and we will defeat COVID-19. Stay safe.
Welcome back. Now, moving on. 2 people have been killed in a fatal accident that occurred this afternoon at Sambo Toll Gate along Lagos Abeokuta Express Road. This is coming 3 days after a similar crash killed 2 people on the same spot. Victims, both male, are said to be passers-by before they were crushed to death. One other person, a female, also sustained serious injury in the accident involving 3 trucks. According to eyewitnesses, the accident occurred when one of the vehicles, a containerized truck with registration number AAA44XJ, lost control of its brakes and crossed to the other lane outbound Lagos, where it had head-on collision with a truck and a tanker. Operatives of the Federal Road Safety Corps and the Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps, TRACE, have taken the injured victim to Ota State Hospital, while the presumed dead have been taken to Ife mortuary. As at the time of this report, efforts are still on to move vehicles involved in the accident of the road to restore normal traffic flow. And now to agriculture. More than 6,000 farmers in Osun State have been empowered by the state government for the 2020 planting season. Governor Oyetola at the flag-off of 2020 planting season in Osogbo says his administration is poised to make agribusiness more profitable for farmers. Femi Afariogun reports.
80% of the over 1 million hectares of land Osun State covers is available for cultivation, but only 51.2% is put to arable crops cultivation annually. To maximize the unused arable land, the state government flagged off the 2020 planting season, while over 60,000 farmers were given agricultural inputs such as maize seeds, cassava cuttings, vegetable seeds, lime, and knapsack sprayers.
We like this occasion very, very much because it's very significant and we can remember it always in the history of Osun State. He's a man of his word.
Despite the effect of coronavirus pandemic, Governor Oyetola is optimistic that Osun will record bountiful harvest, which will contribute to food security and enhance sustainable economic development of the state.
Yes, mechanized farming is good, but if we encourage the local farmers to increase their yields, to imbibe the spirit of using high-yield inputs as opposed to the usual conventional things they use in the past. So we will continue to support them very regularly.
Agribusiness is one key area Oyetola's administration intends to build during this planting season, not only to boost internally generated revenue of the state, but also to provide more employment for the youths. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Now we go to the arena. Members of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, sworn in Lagos, received package of face masks from Supporters Club Association. Details in Sports Update for tonight. And that wraps up Channel 12 News tonight. Good night.